Death Stranding should have been a game that I really disliked. It's an open world, AAA, exploration based walking simulator with a lot of actors I couldn't care less about. But somehow this game managed to make me fall in love with it. I love every single thing about Death Stranding with a weird passion that it's so hard to describe. A game that is so utterly different to everything I've played so far, and a game I've fallen in love so deeply with that I need to try something entirely different to explain to you why I enjoy it. Hi guys! Welcome to a video where I ramble about Death Stranding and try to explain to you why this is my comfort game. Hope you guys enjoy the setup, by the way. As you can tell, I'm a professional and I know absolutely what I'm doing. I am not. At the road to its release, I didn't really care too much about Death Stranding. I think the first time I watched the video and anything piqued my interest was something from Super Bunny Hop. If I remember correctly, he was speaking about his bicycle trip across the United States and compared the toll this has taken on him, all the preparation work he has done, and how he had to manage checking the vistas around him, his stamina, and planning his routes, and review Death Stranding in comparison to that. And that was a really interesting viewpoint.
Post-production ended here. The video is a lot more personal than just doing a bicycle trip. It's also about becoming an adult, finding out who you are or could be. Super Bunny Hop did a really great video and you should watch it. I did a really poor job of explaining it. So yeah, take a look. And now, continuing on.
He also had a really cool
visualization
about how much he looks at the UI while playing a game like Breath of the Wild compared to something like Death Stranding. Also, again, a super unique point of view that slightly piqued my interest into Death Stranding. I love walking, and only then did I realize how much I did. You know, my fiance, she used to live 50 kilometers away from me. We met on the internet, of course she's a little farther away. We've already been dating for like 6 years, and then one day I just decided, hey, I want to walk these 50 kilometers to you. I just looked up the kind of food I need to eat before that and while being on a trip. Did a little test walk of 20 kilometers 2 days prior to that. And then I packed my bag full of stuff. I think I had like 8 liters of water with me, not too much food. And my nerdy ass decided to take my laptop and the charging brick with it. I packed 2 kilograms of weight with me on this 50 kilometers trip for no particular reason except I wanted to play when I was at a place. And to a regular person this might sound really crazy and stupid, but I enjoyed every single bit of that trip. I've listened to 2 audiobooks on the way, I've seen so many cool vistas, I spent a lot of time with myself, I meditated, I thought about a lot of things. I'm that kind of person, I like walking that much. And while you wander, your mind does too. I really enjoy walking, and after watching this video I realized that. And I realized that Death Stranding might be for me, cause I might be a bit of a weird person. Walking is something so absolutely basic that almost anyone could do. In Death Stranding, you play as Sam Porter Bridges, the man who did. You play as Sam Porter Bridges. I can't say that without cracking up every single time, god damn it. You play as Sam Porter Bridges, the man who delivers, and you deliver packages. You walk across an empty, vast space and deliver packages from point A to point B, sometimes with nothing important happening in between. And I love the process of it. It's a game where you do something as basic as walking, and just the imagination of a gigantic team full of veteran game developers trying to find out how to put interesting and fun game design into walking just makes me grin so much. And while they created interesting mechanics around walking, they created a game where you cannot be selfish. The core gameplay and the core story of Death Stranding is that people need to work together to unite again. something called the Death Stranding happened in the world. The world as we know it, the America as we know it, apparently shrunk to 10% of its size, got absolutely blown up. There's craters everywhere, every structure humankind built has decayed over time. Nothing is as we know it. The world is really weird. The world of the living and the world of the dead are way closer than they should be, and a lot of complications arise from that. And in a world like this, something as basic as walking from point A to point B and delivering a package people need is a really nice gesture. Being a porter is an incredibly important job in this world. You deliver happiness to people. Everything you do in Death Stranding gains you literal likes from NPCs and actual people. You can also give out likes to other people that you meet. And at the core, this creates a game where you just walk around, you deliver your cargo that you need to do for the mission or your side quests, but you also see lost cargo. This might be just random cargo the game threw in, but it might be cargo from other players. Maybe somebody took the exact same route and tried to do the exact same mission like you, but he already was carrying way too much stuff and he had to leave some cargo behind. You can pick up the stuff, deliver it yourself to the destination, and the other person gets informed that, hey, somebody delivered your cargo. I can go to any site right now and there's a high chance that someone in their play session saw my name pop up, saw Cista, saw that I left my cargo, took it and decided to bring it to the corresponding destination. I log in, I see that, and I can deliver the package myself. It's a whole game where people just help each other. You help each other for the very basic action of walking from point A to B, and I love how this process is not automated. The game doesn't tell you that you need to pick up the cargo. You never really do except for the main story quests. But the world works in a way where you feel connected and feel really positive about helping each other, to a point where I don't care about the game cargo. If there's just some random cargo lying around, I'm not picking it up. But if I see another person's name, I specifically go there, I specifically take the cargo, and I make sure that it gets delivered without any damage, or as well as it works. Because I know there's a person behind that. It's a game that connects you oddly close to other people, even though it's a game about isolation. You can also build structures in Death Stranding. The more you play, the more stuff you unlock. You can build something as basic as a bridge, for example, and chances are it's not just gonna be in your world. Somebody else will see your bridge and might be using it. There's so many interesting interactions I've had with this. I remember one specific trip I had. I needed to go to the first weather station and it was horrifying. So much stuff went wrong, like my shoes broke halfway through. I remember there were so many BTs. BTs are the main enemies in this world and they are really dangerous and hard to fight until you have proper equipment. And I was stressed out, it was super late, didn't know I could save the game halfway through, I just wanted to finish the quest. I was super stressed, so much stuff, almost losing, no blood whatsoever, and I somehow crawled through this area full of BTs. When I connected the next station to the network and went back, someone made a bridge. Someone made a gigantic bridge that crossed the worst part of this trip. And I felt so much happiness going through me. I understood that somebody was struggling as much as me with the specific part of the game, decided to build a bridge, and this bridge extended back to me and helped me with my struggles. I felt so touched. Like, it's so hard to explain. Somebody just built a bridge, right? You could do that with 7 blocks in Minecraft. What's so special about it? I went for this place alone and struggled through it alone. In-game, I connected them to the literal internet, and by establishing these connections, the online features got unlocked in this very specific region, and I got connected to people who did something nice to me as well. I start to care so much about other people's creations. Does somebody else actively use this bridge? Did this bridge help somebody so much that they started going to the weather station, which is really far away, more often just because of it? Did the person appreciate it and try to give the bridge more than 1,000 likes at once? Like, I'm liking the shit out of this bridge still to this very point because it made me so happy in that moment. I want to know why the person built the bridge. I want to know whether they struggled as much as I did. Whether they even had the same struggles or if they just felt like a bridge would look super cool there. I don't know it. It just, their decision touched me in a way that is really hard to explain, but is still very much engraved into my head. And Death Stranding does this a lot. By the way, sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I've been sick for the entire week, but after 7 days of waiting, I don't care how my voice sounds. I want to record it. Isolation is also a really interesting topic in Death Stranding. I gotta say, I've been playing the game a lot more than is usually intended. I think I've been playing the game for 50 hours now, and I'm only at chapter 5. Usually people finish this game around 50 hours in. I guess I found my Skyrim. And you don't really meet anyone. Like, you see a lot of people, you have a lot of talks, there's a lot of codec talks, like you have it in Metal Gear Solid, for example. It's Kojima after all. But you don't really ever see anyone, person to person. There's a few cutscenes, but I wouldn't really count them in, right? Like, but there is no NPCs you can visibly see within the game world that you can run into, that you could bump into. And I've been playing this game for 15 to 20 hours when I first arrived in the central area, and suddenly I see 2 porters. Like, it's NPCs, sure, but there were other people inhabiting the same massive land that I was walking on. And after 15 hours of not seeing anyone, this felt so off to me. I was so surprised to see anyone in this world. I felt so weird. I was so happy to see them. I tried to push every single button, try to do anything so that Sam would react, and suddenly they start waving back at me and they're trying to give me their cargo. And again, something so simple. They picked up something and they're just leaving it there. But this is such a simple interaction after I've been so starved from human contact. I've been isolated for more than 20 hours within this game world. This felt so touching. And at some point I realized I could trade with them. They're not just giving stuff to me, I could put something on the ground too, and they will pick it up and they'll be thankful for it. It was such an interesting interaction. Also, if you follow the main quest for a while, there's a specific point in the game where someone is so interested about you and your work that they leave their shelter. I think at this point I've been 30 hours in. I'm interacting with this terminal, I brought the cargo in as per usual, I just expect the UI to plop up and give my experience and likes, move on with another delivery. But then the game moves out of the UI and a person comes out. And the dialogue is so weird. I would call it bad writing, but I feel like it's very, very much intentional. There's 2 people standing across with a lot of social distancing in between. Just how we should act with COVID. And Sam is saying absolutely nothing. She's talking weird mess. There's no connection to anything that's happening. She just decided to walk out of her bunker and speak with Sam about something very important to her. The dialogue feels weird, the situation feels weird, they both don't feel comfortable, but they kinda want to enjoy each other's presence. And in a world where I've been so starved of human interactions, this felt touching. It's hard to explain, maybe you need to experience yourself, but I was so surprised by this character just walking out that I teared up. I was so surprised that the game just threw a basic interaction at me. Your mileage may vary though. As I was searching this very scene, I found a lot of YouTube comments saying it was the cringiest thing they ever experienced in a video game, period. Maybe it's just me and I'm weird about it, but I really love the scene, maybe you want to give it a shot. In fact, Death Stranding made me think at that very moment. I enjoyed this one piece of digital in-game interaction between 2 NPCs that was super scripted after I didn't see any interaction for the past 30 hours in the game. And oddly enough, this made me think about myself and how I interact with people. Not just for COVID, but for a much longer time, it felt like I was isolating myself from a lot of people. There was no specific reason, I just slowly started to crawl away, get out of social interactions, stay more at home, meet less people. And the more time passed, the more anxious I got about meeting people. If there was an event coming up, I was usually slipping out the last second and disappointed every single person that tried to do anything with me. And after a long time of isolation, I noticed how odd the interactions with others have become, how hard the conversations have become. And I started to wonder what kind of a mess I've gotten myself into. And then I played Death Stranding and I saw this very interaction. Two people that forgot how to be human, at least it felt like it, but one of them still really tried to talk with the other person, and I was just a stranger seeing the whole interaction, but it touched me, and it touched me in a way and made me think about it. Like, even if it's weird and hard for you to interact with someone, even if you're unsure, even if you forgot how to interact with other persons, someone there will appreciate that you do it, no matter how weird the interaction is. And since I've seen and thought a lot about it, I started to reestablish a lot of friendships, meet people again, go to places, go to events, at least as good as it works right now, considering COVID, right? And if you think about it, even talking to people is such a basic thing to do, right? Anybody could do it, but you could struggle with a very basic thing, just like you could struggle with something basic in Death Stranding. You walk just from point A to point B, but even this can be hard sometimes. You will trip, you will fall, sometimes you will die, you will lose important cargo. Point is, you gotta own up to it, right? If it happens, you can't just stop playing. Just because you fell down, you can't just be down. You gotta stand up, pick up your cargo, and continue on. The game expects you to fail a lot. The game really leaves you to your own merits, and you learn from it, and you get better at it. You learn to avoid the pitfalls of life, the pitfalls of the game, and you get a lot better at doing this very basic thing, and people appreciate you for doing this very basic thing. Walking or, well, talking to other people. And that's when I started to understand that I really enjoyed Death Stranding. Death Stranding makes me feel comfort. Death Stranding's world is so utterly fucked. You can't repair it. You just can't try to make the best out of it. And yet everybody in this world enjoys that you are trying your best with the most basic thing of walking to point A to B and delivering stuff, even if you fail, even if the cargo isn't at the best condition when you arrive at your destination. They're happy that you do it. I started to think about a lot of different things. Why am I stressing out so much about the videos I create? I always try to think I need to one-up the last thing I did, and then I just don't create any videos at all. I should just create a video, no matter how it turns out, because somebody will appreciate this very basic action of me doing something for others. If I'm struggling with social interactions, it's fine. Be honest and tell people that you're struggling with it. Try to learn ways to circumvent these pitfalls. Somebody will be happy that you write them a nice message and try to meet up with them, even if you just talk for 5 minutes on the phone. Even if you feel like it has been a weird interaction, somebody will enjoy that you cared enough to start the interaction. You can do something super basic and somebody will be very happy that you've done so. Death Stranding is definitely an acquired taste, and I'm sure that the game is not for everyone, but I hope that I was able to convey to you why the game is a place of comfort for me personally, and maybe you give it a try yourself. But maybe you won't feel the same things as I do. Maybe you'll see Sam stacking up 3-meter tall tower of packages on his back while he races down a mountain and tries to struggling to stay in a line. The game is really janked sometimes, right? Don't forget to tell me how you've enjoyed this whole setup. I've never done something like this. It's the first time I've created a vlog kind of review-esque thing. I don't know how to name this yet, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Maybe for another analysis video, maybe another rambly video like this one. Either way, have a good one, and see you next time.
Still here? Great. Stay a while longer and support the channel. Each new patron prolongs my suffering as I play another hour of the games I hate the most, starting with Skyrim. Or, subscribe right here to get more of the same hot stuff.